Hello, my name is Jason Rodriguez and I am 25 years old. I'm a fourth year student at Carleton University and I'm just here to talk a little bit about gender violence and how it's affected me through my life. At a very young age, my parents divorced, and even to this day, I lie to my closest of friends and tell them that I never met my father, that he left my mother when she was still pregnant with me, or that my parents were divorced when I was still too young to even remember who he was. The truth is, my father left when I was 10 years old, and I fully remember that man. I choose to forget him because of the negative influence that he has had on my life, and because of the negative feelings that I get every time I think about him. He was verbally abusive and physically abusive, but more importantly, he was emotionally abusive, not only to my mother, but to me. Um, he would sit there and scream at her and tell her that she was useless and tell her that she was worthless. And my mother is one of the strongest women who I've ever had the privilege of knowing. And to watch someone who I hold in such a high respect and who I attribute so much strength to get broken down by the verbal abuse of that man, it kills me inside and it eats me up. But what makes me so much more ashamed is that I, as a child, internalized that negativity towards my mother and I started to treat her disrespectfully. And I'm ashamed of it every single time I look in my mirror and think about that. It's hard. It's hard to stare back at myself. It took me a long time to get past that resentment, and it's really a shame because it took away from some of the greatest years that I could have had with my mother. So if I was to teach a young man today how to prevent this from happening to him, I would tell him to remember that no matter whether a person is male, female, or any other type of gender that you don't understand, they're still a person and they're still a human being and they deserve the same level of respect that you would treat your loved ones with, the same level of respect that you would treat your friends with. Everyone deserves it. If you're going to judge someone for what they are, you need to remember that what they are is a human being. Nobody deserves abuse, whether it be physical, verbal, or emotional. And I just want to remind everybody that the verbal abuse that you have can be more long lasting and hurt much deeper than any type of physical abuse you can commit on somebody else. So just remember that your words are extremely powerful. So keep that in mind the next time you go and insult somebody, and remember that it doesn't end at that sentence and that it doesn't end with that person, because they will internalize that negativity and resentment and they'll project it on the people who are closest to them. So not only are you affecting them, but you're affecting the relationships that they have with the people closest to them. So just remember that. Thanks.